Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel, The House of Jen. As I was scrolling through the Pottery Barn website, I came across an elegant faux potted orchid that we are going to recreate for a fraction of the price. If you are new here, I'd love for you to subscribe. My name is Jenny. Let's jump in. Okay, you guys, I cannot even tell you how excited I am to share this Pottery Barn inspired dupe with you. It was challenging to find some of the pieces, so I really feel like I'm going to save you so much time, so much money to get this high-end look for less. So orchids, they are gorgeous. The faux big potted orchids can instantly make your home look like a designer house. And let me tell you, you are going to pay for it. So this high-end, beautiful potted orchid I found, and I love the aesthetic, at Pottery Barn for $229. And if you can just pay that because it's gorgeous, and I definitely understand if you do, but if you're like me, and again, I am such an idealist, I love the look, but I also like a great price tag. So I challenged myself to do this dupe, and let me tell you what I found. Okay, so first I went on Amazon, and I will tell you, you have to get high quality orchids. But my challenge is I'm trying to create this entire look. The budget I gave myself was $50. Okay, that is a fraction of the Pottery Barn price. And I thought, okay, I am going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So we'll see at the end if I did it. We'll see. Okay, so this one is an example of the orchid. I never know on Amazon, I'm like, are they going to come in pretty? And they had gorgeous pictures, but these really exceeded my expectations. They are 38 inches. I have a pack of 6 of these gorgeous orchids. Okay, I purposefully got them a lot longer than they were supposed to be. And if you search on Amazon, you can search for ones that have a coupon. And this one had a coupon, I think for like $2.30 something cents, I want to say, off. So all 6 orchids were literally like $20 and some change. Okay. So that leaves a lot for my budget for other things. So I am so excited. I did not skimp on the quality. These are like silk leaves. And y'all, it says, take a hairdryer to blow away, not blow away, but, smooth out any of the petals. And I've not even done that. I'm like so impressed on how they look. Like I can always still do that, but they look fantastic. Okay, so let's get on. Now you'll need a pot, okay? And this pot, this vessel, I found on sale for $14. Okay, so now we are at like around $34 in our budget and some change. And this was originally a white pot. Okay, you want to get kind of a bowl that's shallow. I found this at Michael's in the coastal section, and it was originally white. And so I have some spray paint on hand. If you are a DIYer or a crafter, you probably do too. And we had a lot of black spray paint. Now this is a gloss spray paint. The Pottery Barn version has more of a matte finish with some little gray and copper, little, cement-ish tones. But honestly, guys, I really like our pot better. This was normally $30-something, and I found it 60% off. It was originally white. Again, just, flipped it over, spray painted it. And I think it turned out really, really, really lovely. I am going to leave mine gloss because a lot of our doors in our house are gloss black. And I feel like this suits my house. So, you know, make it your own, personalize it, make it your own. And believe it or not, you guys, the struggle that I had the most hard time finding were leaves, okay? Let me tell you my story. Okay, so I was on Amazon. I thought, I'll find the leaves, no problem. Well, these leaves are not like your little round kind of leaves that the typical orchid leaves. I found those on Amazon. No, these were pointed leaves, and they were not short pointed leaves. They were tall pointed leaves. And I could not find any. And so I thought, well, I'll be super creative and I'll let you guys know, and I'll find like a garland, and then I'll like deconstruct it like you would a deconstructed salad, you know. And no, did not find it there, did not find it on wreaths. I thought I could be resourceful. My husband actually found these leaves, and I could not even believe it. They are bendable and Hobby Lobby for the win. They are $1.29, floral accents, and they're bendable. It is exactly what I needed. And this took up, I do not skimp on your leaves, okay? If you're creating a premium floral arrangement, I got 9 of these. So this took up $11 and something, a good portion of my budget. So I had to get even more creative, which I will show you what I have to do later for some other parts. But let's go ahead and get started. I will show you the other pieces that I found along the way to create this arrangement. Let's make a gorgeous arrangement. Okay, so I have a dry floral foam, it's hard to say, brick. And I am going to place it in here and wedge it. And I want to cut some more foam and put it on the side so I can utilize all of this. But we don't want it floppy doppy. We want to glue it at the bottom. So I'm going to put a little hot glue, and so it adheres better, I'm going to put the glue on this kind of brown paper tape, and I'll show you what it looks like once I do that. Okay, so I have my foam all wedged in here. This main one, I did glue it down to some tape. So if I ever wanted to reuse this container, I could. Now this floral foam, I would recommend using the plastic. It's a darker green and it's not gonna be as powdery like this, but this is what I had. So this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna use, okay? So you guys, I'm so excited about this. The Pottery Barn one, I think is like 27 inches. I went for the bigger look because I have tall ceilings. So these are like 38 inches. And what we're gonna do is we are just gonna start off respect to the shape of the container. This one is like an oval. And so we're just gonna put one right in here, all the way down, make it go all the way down. Okay, look how pretty this one is. It's swoopy. And I did get some dowel rods and for some further support. So don't worry about our droopy little orchid. It will perk up once it has some more support. And then the next one I want to angle, let's see, on this brick, let's just do it about equally distant space, and we will just stick this one in right here. Kind of think about it, because once it's in there and you are committed, okay? So there you go. And I do see some petals that may need a little fluffing, but I feel like these look so nice. And they have the little, like Pottery Barn, they have the little, I don't know what you call these, the little closed buds. So cute. Okay, guys, let's add some more orchids. Okay, now I have my third orchid, and I'm going to put it, I think I'm going to place it kind of like a triangle right here. So we have these two, and I'm just gonna jut it out. Make sure that you don't have it too much on the end because you want it to really go down in there. Okay, there we go. And I'm so glad I got the rods for support, because you can really, they're not just for support, back support for our flowers, right? But it also allows for more design control when you have the rods. Okay, so we have 3. You're gonna stay in there, aren't you? And you know what? I think I'm gonna add a little extra glue to the bases to make sure that these really don't come out. So I will do that, hello orchid, at the end of after adding all these. Okay, so we have 3, so let's add our next orchid. Okay, so we look kind of to see where there's a gap, and I can see right here in this space that it is just asking, will you put me right here? And I say, yes, I will put you right here. So we're gonna put it, angle it kind of right at this place, and this is where its happy home is going to be. And then there were 4. Okay, guys, and you really want to watch the shape, how this one comes down. I want this one to come down to make it kind of symmetrical. So I'm just going to stick this one in right here. And it's going to kind of naturally, I thought I was going to have to cut these, and I'm delighted. And I would actually recommend leaving them as tall as possible, especially if you're going to have a support system for them. And then this last one, I think naturally just goes on this other side over here, and we are going to have a complete kind of shape. So this one is going to go right about here, because I kind of want to stay in the middle as much as possible so that they are kind of grouped together. All right, this is fantastic. Now at the base, I'm just going to add a little ring of hot glue around each of these. So they obviously need some support, and the dowel rods will help too. So I will show you after I get back. Okay, so I added the glue around each one of these stems for reinforcement, but that's not all the reinforcement that you want, okay? So we did spray paint these, my husband and I did, these dowel rods black, okay? You can get them, I found mine, they were wood tone, 84 cents a piece at the Home Depot, and we are gonna give each one of these stems some support. Before I do that, I want to make sure that all the bends are exactly the way that I want to have them bent, so that when I clip the dowel rod, that it comes up to the natural bend point, because these will be little twins and they are going to be together for support. And so wherever this one goes, this one's going to go exactly to it, and we're going to add some floral wire to it. So let's see how that works out. My dowel rod, and I want to go ahead and insert this next to this stem around its natural bend, and to give it some support. I should have probably even gone a little bit closer on the foam, and I can probably do that and move it over, because I really want them to be as close as possible. And we are going to take some snippers with our dowel rod and clip it. So you want some heavy duty snippers, obviously. I'm just going to take it, give it a snip. I can always go shorter if I need to. Let's see how this will work. Okay. You guys, I need to use this. I think we do it right here. Ooh, got it. Yay! These are super tall, and oh my goodness. Okay, this is coming together. So we're going to take some floral wire, and I am going to add this. I think I'm going to snip it a little bit lower, but I'm going to take my floral wire. Where's my floral wire? Here it is. And just get a little bit of this. And we can always conceal it with twine. Don't be like, Jenny, that's not very aesthetically beautiful, because you can always cover it up later, but this just gives it the support. And these have little increments, so I'm just going to take one where the natural increment is on the flower. You can see these little dash lines, and that seems to be a happy thing. We're going to give it a little twist and shout. And then once we do that, I can snip my dowel rod a little bit more. And the first one is always experimental. Isn't it like that? It's like when you're flipping a pancake, the first one you're like, I don't know. And that's kind of how it is in crafting. But then once you do one, you get your confidence up, and y'all, this is coming along quite nicely. Okay, so I think I'm just going to come a little bit shorter on this rod. Okay. If you want, wear safety glasses, be extra safe, but these are pretty sturdy. Okay. All right. Come on. There we go. Did it! I don't know why these always make me so nervous, those little snippers. Okay, so that looks really good. We're going to go back and add the other ones, and then I will show you the next step. Yay! All of our flowers have support. So when you add your dowel rods, make sure that you add the floral wire at different heights. So like this one has a 1, 2, 3 for support. And you also want to have your dowels all approximately the same height. And now we are going to add some moss. Okay, so I found this gigantic bag of Spanish moss for $10. We are not going to use all of it. You can, if you just want to get a smaller portion, you can get them in different colors. You can get them to where it's like a little pad, but I wanted to kind of sprinkle mine in. The moss on the Pottery Barn is a little bit different, but hey, it's nature, right? So it's all going to look different. So I'm going to open up this big bag of moss. Does moss just make you happy? I feel like if you want to make a high-end look, that moss makes everything look more high-end. Is it just me? Okay, but look how gorgeous this is, guys. It's like, it looks like yellowy green hair. It's just absolutely phenomenally beautiful, and it stays together, and this tie also kind of sprinkles in between the stems. So let's add this on with some hot glue. Okay, I am a huge fan of Spanish moss. When you are hot gluing, this was probably the easiest step ever. You just hot glue along the edge on the foam, and this stuff is very forgiving. You just want to tuck in between here. You could always add more. I mean, this was so easy. Just don't burn your fingers in the process. I did not. Yay! And now we have our leaves. I think the simplest way is just going to kind of layer them and then like put some floral wire right here is what I'm thinking. And then we'll just directly wire these two leaves together. They'll be little friends. And then just put them along the angles. And I have 9 of these, so we'll see how far that they can stretch. Okay, so I anchored the 2 leaves together, And then I just bent this little bendable stem and then added floral wire here. And then just a dot of glue on the top leaf, just so that it is a little more secure. And now I'm just going to add the rest of the leaves that I have, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, friends, so now I am just positioning the leaves to where I personally think they should go. I kind of like this little stair step look over here. So I think I'm going to have it kind of graduating like a stair step look. And again, we are just adding this little floral wire in place. And if I need to, I can add a little dot of glue if I want these to be a little bit more cohesive, a little bit more together, although I could let them kind of be flappy. But I'm just positioning this one, and you want to kind of lay them all out to see what looks desirable. This looks kind of good because we have the symmetry. I could even make it a little bit lower, but I'm kind of liking that. And I also want to see how many leaves I actually have left. And since I have an odd number, I have 9 instead of 10, there may be one stem that just has 1 leaf, and that is just fine. Well, friends, we have our leaves, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out. They are all kind of tapered around the height of our orchid arrangement. I did tell you earlier that I was afraid that I would not make budget, and so to be extra creative for our exposed roots, I had to go and use what nature gave me. So I went out into my backyard, and our little crawling, trailing bush that is ground level, I got the roots from that bush and I dried them off. It was raining that day, so I had an extra step of blow drying these to dry them, make sure they're very dry. I added a clear coat to them, and these were free. Yay, free. But I will tell you, this is an optional step. You can get the rubber type roots as well. But these, I just want to show you what they would kind of look like if I'm not going to glue them down, because for my purposes, I like the look that's nice and clean with my lemony green moss. And I'm just going to kind of show you what they would look like laying them down. I really like this curved one here. I think it looks very realistic. But I'm not gluing them, but you kind of get the idea of what this little root system would look like if you did want to do that step. But like I said, the only thing with sticks is they're not going to last as long as something like rubber. And I want to keep this piece for quite some time. But if you wanted to just get the look, you could do that. Okay, so I think this looks almost really complete. Another optional step that you can do is go to Michael's or wherever your local craft store is and pick up a sheet of, this is like vellum, I think paper is what they call it. You know, when you have wedding invitations, and I don't know if they still do this, but you open them up and they have that lovely sort of translucent paper that is in between and it looks all official. Well, I was trying to figure out what would I do for that paper husky type of protective layer that is at the base of the leaves. In nature, they have that protective layer to protect it from environmental conditions. And I love how the Pottery Barn has that as well. And I suppose you could probably even use some parchment paper if you wanted to even make it cheaper. But I am just going to see what this looks like. I'm going to take some scissors and just kind of experiment what this may look like. So I'm going to just clip a little corner. I have a hot glue gun and got my hot glue. So really don't need a whole lot. Let's just do a little square here. And let's see, let's put this around the base and wrap it around like so. Again, this is optional, so I'm not sure if I will do it, but I did want to show you what it looks like that. And I'm just gonna pinch it right there. As you can see, it does not look as realistic as the Pottery Barn version with the rice papers. To me, I am on the fence on this one, but I think I'm going to leave them off for now. But that does give you some more options if you wanted to do them. Okay, you guys, don't forget to blow dry your beautiful orchid, right? We never did that with the petals. Give it a little salon visit and blow dry those petals. So I have my hair dryer. I'm going to plug this in. And, okay, let's see if I can reach it here. And you just want to blow dry the petals to give it a more full look. So don't forget that step. One point that I wanted to make earlier was when you put in these orchid stems, make sure that they're faced when you put them in the foam. Make sure that they're faced more upright. This one I already put in the vase when it was not completely upright, but you live and you learn, right? And this was definitely a learning experience. Mine is actually bigger, and I really like aspects of the one that I created. Although I do appreciate the Pottery Barn version for my purposes, it's bigger, and I really was so excited to find this base, which I feel like the base is so lovely and so has a nice high-end elevated look. And my goodness, well, I need to give you the price breakdown, so stay tuned to the end for that. But let's look at this gorgeous orchid that we created together. I am so excited. This was quite a challenge for me, but it was so much fun. And you guys, I am so pleased with how it turned out. Here is a price breakdown of what I spent to create this beautiful orchid project for less. 6 orchids on Amazon for $20.69. The vase base purchased at Michael's on sale for 60% off for $14. Our 9 beautiful leaves at Hobby Lobby for $11.61. And for the moss, although I paid $10 for the huge bag, I estimated that I used about $1.50 for this project. 3 rods at the Home Depot for $2.52. And the dry floral foam bricks, I estimated that I used $1.67. Okay, now let's look at how much we actually saved compared to the Pottery Barn beautiful orchid. Look at these numbers, $51.99 for our project. We saved about $177 and a penny. Oh my goodness, that is about 77% savings. Wow, 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 compared to the Pottery Barn version. And this was such a fun, creative challenge. There are aspects that I love. Like I said, my version is much bigger, and I actually prefer the base that I found. So you get to customize it according to your liking. I hope this gave you some fun inspiration. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and happy creating.